In the summer of 2020, I earned my brown belt. Now, the brown belt is the second highest ranking belt in the karate belt system. And as many of you know, karate is a martial art, but it is also a culture. It is a culture steeped in history, tradition, self-reflection, and also self-centeredness and patience. So today, for this speech, I will talk about the history of karate, how you can learn self-control and patience from karate, and also how you learn a lot more about yourself from doing the sport. So to start off, let's talk about the history. Now, okay, I'm just going to give it to you straight. Karate does not come from Japan. Got it? Good. Karate instead originates from Okinawa. And the most commonly held belief is that it came from East Asia. It is believed that it came from East Asian sports and was brought over to Okinawa. In fact, the suffix "kata" used to mean Chinese hand because of this belief. At least that was until a man known as Gichin Funakoshi came around. This man, Gichin Funakoshi, is credited as the creator of modern karate. In fact, he changed the name karate from meaning Chinese hand to meaning empty hand. He changed the suffix "kata" from meaning Chinese to meaning empty, mostly because he wanted to distance himself as much as he could from the belief that it came from China. And as a result, he began to popularize the sport. He first started by teaching it himself, writing books, holding demonstrations. In fact, one of his demonstrations he did for the Japanese Imperial Navy fleet. And as a result of all of this, he began putting it in schools. And so it became more popular in Japan, and that's how it got known as being the sport of Japan. And so now we go to America. How to get popular here? That's all thanks in part of Bruce Lee, Hong Kong, and Hollywood. So for Bruce Lee in Hong Kong, during the 70s, around that era, many films from China and Hong Kong became popular here in the States. Many of them included the actor Bruce Lee, and as a result, public interest in martial arts in general became more widespread. And it wasn't until the 80s when karate finally hit its peak. And that was all thanks in part to The Karate Kid. This movie skyrocketed karate popularity and is credited as being what popularized karate in the United States as a whole. So as you can see, karate has a long history. But enough about that. There is more to karate. There is learning, self-control, and patience through the sport. So one thing you do in karate a lot is constant repetition of techniques. Because in karate, how else do you learn the techniques other than doing them over and over again? You also, as a result, you gain something from this. What you gain from this is what can be best summarized as a full body awareness of yourself and where every part of you is at all times. And as a result of this full body awareness, you can basically get your body to do whatever you want. Since you know where every part of it is, you can just tell it what to do and it'll just do it for you. This level of self-control is a mastery very few ever get unless they practice very hard. Then of course you get patience, and this is all through, well, failure. In karate, you're gonna fail a lot. These moves are very hard to learn and take time, but you gain patience. You gain an understanding that this failure isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's a lesson. And so as a result, you gain more patience with yourself and are less harsh on yourself when you fail. But more importantly, karate is a great way to learn self-reflection. I know for me personally that I have anger issues, and it is through karate that I have learned this. I get annoyed if things don't go my way, and during sparring, I'll attack more violently as a result. But through karate, I've not only learned this about myself, I have also learned to stay calm and in self-control of myself when things don't go my way. You can also learn to be more confident in yourself. See, when you learn karate, you learn all the techniques. And as a result of learning these things, you gain confidence in what you're capable of and in your own strengths. I know for me, I have gained more confidence in my body, and I have realized that my body is not a weakness, but in fact a strength that can be used and utilized more appropriately when the time comes. So, karate as a whole has taught me a lot. It is filled with history, tradition, and most importantly for me, self-reflection. I have learned much about myself through this sport, and I am proud to say that I'm grateful for it. And I am proud to continue this tradition and hopefully pass it on to others.